Hey guys, it's K-Bidal, and this video was requested by my friend Harrison Fox, Harry Song. I don't really know exactly what um, he wanted me to talk about. Um, in general, he wanted me to talk about horror movies because I've always kind of been known as the horror movie whore. Um, Meaning that I am in love with horror movies. They're my favorite genre, and I am obsessed with horror movies. And so he wanted me to talk about horror movie villains, I think. My favorite horror movie character of all time, as everybody knows, is Freddy Krueger because he's really messed up and he's hilarious and he has a personality and, you know, a lot of other villains, they don't really have a personality. They just kill and slash and just whatever. And Freddy Krueger actually, he's like hysterical. So, I love Freddy Krueger. Horror movies that still scare the absolute shit out of me, and I am 24, and um, one of them would be Nosferatu because I think he is terrifying. He is, and I love that about him. I love that he's terrifying. I love Nosferatu. Um, I know this is kind of corny, and me and my sister Lori, um, we probably are the only two that, still get scared over the Blair Witch Project. The first time I saw it, it scared the shit out of me. Like, you don't know, like I couldn't, especially in the sequel, the second Blair Witch movie, The Book of Shadows. Um, I couldn't watch horror movies for like weeks after that, and my dad actually made that rule. He said no more horror movies when that first came out, and I think that was in like 2001. So I was 12 or 13 when I first saw that, and yeah, that movie really messed me up, but I loved it. And I own it now, and I watch it all the time, and I don't have the same reaction, but it's really creepy. The first Blair Witch was a lot better. It really set the bar for point of view horror movies. And the other third movie that still scares the shit out of me to this day is The Ring. I think that if you want to have a good horror movie, that putting little children, especially little girls, is terrifying, and it will definitely make your movie, excuse me, a lot creepier when you have children, such as Danny Torrance from The Shining, just the little, I can't remember his name, but the little boy from The Ring, not just Samara, not my sister Samara, the character Samara from The Ring, just absolutely terrifying. Even before she became that corpsey, gross type of creature, when she was human still and not dead and she was alive, she was just so creepy. I still sometimes when I'm going to sleep, I'll look over my shoulder because I'm like expecting like a girl with long black hair and a white dress to be coming and like killing me and making me make a weird face. I still So horror movies today, they're not scary. They're all, I really am not into many. I haven't really liked many of the horror movies that have come out recently. I'm not a fan of Eli Roth at all. I think he's a horrible writer and director, and I don't like any of his movies. Um, and his son is even worse. Um, but I haven't really seen a really good horror movie since like 10 years ago. And with a couple of exceptions, there's been good movies. I'm not just into horror movies. I'm into slasher movies, which I absolutely love. Like all of Rob Zombie's horror movies I think are fantastic, and I cannot wait until the Lords of Salem come out. Sorry, my computer just did a little fuck you type thing. Yeah, I was just saying, Rob Zombie's movies are great, but they're not really much more horror as they are gory and slasher. Um, I love the Hatchet movies. I love B horror movies. Like my favorite B horror movie of all times is, if you know me, is Ginger Snaps, which is the only movie about werewolves that I like, except for the sequels, obviously, and the Underworld movie, Rise of the Lycans. I really liked that for some reason. And I didn't like it the first couple times I saw it, but then it grew on me, and now I own it. So, horror movies that were in slasher movies and gore movies, whatever we want to call them, thrillers, I'm into all of them. Um, but I really haven't seen a good actual horror movie that made me, jump in years. The best movie that made me kind of really jump, not like scared, like, oh my god, I'm terrified. It just did that little jolt of, that really great scare, was Paranormal Activity 4. I'm not a huge fan of the Paranormal Activity movies, especially the second one, which was just awful. And the third one, which was just awful. The first and the fourth one are pretty damn good. They are good for that jolt of, oh my god, type horror, not like the, oh my god, this is so terrifying, I have to stop it. It's that excited scare that you get that I love so much. Um, so there are really no good horror movies I can really recommend nowadays. Um, because they're all really shitty. So, um, yeah, the first horror movie I ever saw was The Shining, obviously. And that scared, and my grandfather was still alive, so I had to have been 5 or 6 when I saw that. And the scariest part of that movie to me was the moldy lady in the bathtub. And I refused to take a bath for weeks when when I was after I had saw that when I was like 5 or 6, and I went to the bathroom with the door open because I was just so afraid of the tub, and it just scared the hell out of me. Still one of my favorites. It's classic. But like I said, nowadays horror movies not so exciting, not so like really scary where, you're looking over your shoulder at night and bullcrap like that. But anyway, so if you have any more comments or questions, just leave them below. And I will see you guys later. So, mwah, stay wicked.